want to welcome today to our office Danielle Nadler. She's the Executive Director of Loudoun Education Foundation. Welcome, Danielle. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I met Danielle at the Loudoun Chamber Commerce, and I was so impressed about what they do at LEF. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you get to be part of the LEF?
Definitely, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun. So my background is in journalism. That's all I ever wanted to do since I was 14 years old, and worked in newspapers all the way from high school newspaper to college newspapers, and then newspapers, California, Midwest, Las Vegas, and then here in Loudoun. And it's interesting because my job at the Loudoun newspaper was really to cover the school system, to cover public education, and private as well. But much of my job was focused on possibly, kind of telling the good stories, of course, but also shining a light on the challenges within the local public education system. So when Loudoun Education Foundation's previous executive director, Don Meyer, called me, she said, she's been there for 10 years, I think. She said, I really am looking to retire, but I just have not found that right person to take, to pass the baton to. Would you consider it? And my husband said something really helpful. He's like, all these years your job has been to shine a spotlight on the challenges in the school system, and now you get to be at the table to help solve those challenges. And I feel like that's what it's been. I've really enjoyed it. And I'll just say briefly, or we can talk more about this, but Loudoun Education Foundation's role is really to raise funds for the school system, and it doesn't just go into the operating budget. We get to find partners in the community, like businesses or individuals who have a passion for something specific, whether it's STEM or whether it's equity and access for low income or students from marginalized communities, and then we get to pair them with a program that they can support financially. So it's really, I feel like it's a little more strategic than just raising funds for the operating budget. It's, okay, what's the need today that maybe we didn't foresee a year ago? Sometimes it's the Title I schools, and Title I schools have a high percentage of students who are from low-income families. They might just say, gosh, we need snacks for our kids, so we try to raise funds for things that are just those immediate needs. So yeah, I never would have guessed that I would leave journalism to go to that nonprofit world, but it feels like a good next step.
Yeah, wow. So you did cover a little bit about, that was my last question, to tell us a little bit about the LEF. How long you been with them? I guess you did start after the pandemic, correct?
A little bit in the middle. Well, it's hard to know if after the pandemic, where that timeline is. It feels like we're still there sometimes. But I started with LEF in January of 21. So I've been there just a little over a year. And I could share a little more specifically about what LEF is. We do a lot of work. So I'm realizing, as a writer, I thought I'd come in and be like, yeah, let's just get like a one sentence thing that sums it up. But I'm realizing it's kind of hard because LEF does a lot. But I will try to sum it up briefly. We kind of have three buckets. One is support for students, in Loudoun County Public Schools. One is support for educators, so that everyone from the teachers to bus drivers, and then another bucket is kind of the broader community, and for that we see as workforce development. So for students, we do everything from our weekend meal program, and that's called Backpack Coalition, and we provide over 1,000 meals to students to take home over the weekends. And then we also have, I'm trying to think, there's so many, but I'll give an example.
Is that the specific grade of the school, like middle school?
That's all grade levels,
okay.
And it's a lot of the schools partner with churches in the community who provide weekend meals, but any schools that don't have a partner to provide meals for weekends for students from low income families, I always always joke because I'm like, all students are low income, incidentally, but students from low income families, if they don't have a church partner, we supplement that and make sure that every student in the school system will have meals, have food over the weekend so they can come back on Monday ready to learn. So that's one of our big programs. We also fund after-school programming for students who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford either tutoring or one of our programs is called Propel, and that specifically we get partners. This is where we're the middleman in a fun way. So we've got partnerships, funding from Jack and Cook Foundation, HHMI Genelia, Northrop Grumman, one more, AWS, and that's Amazon Web Services, and they provide money for this program called Propel and Level Up, and that's for students who are from marginalized communities, whether it's low income, first generation Americans, that they are highly capable but have not been excelling very well in STEM. So it really focuses, starting in 4th grade, on after-school programming for STEM, so that by the time they graduate from that program in 8th grade, they're ready, equipped for rigorous coursework like the Academies of Loudoun or AP courses. Just because we notice, gosh, there's students that just haven't gotten that support to get them ready for that. So that's a really cool program. That's just a couple examples of how we support students. For educators, we provide classroom grants so they can do some innovative projects in the classroom. We provide scholarships if they want to, we provide a lot of classified employees scholarships to go on to earn their teaching certificate because we are in dire need of teachers. So we give them scholarships for that. And then we have an Outstanding Educators Banquet every May, and You've Got Names is helping to support us there. And that this year it's May 6th, and it it's kind of a night to celebrate all of the educators who have been nominated for either Teacher of the Year or Principal of the Year. So that's another big push we do to try to celebrate our teachers and educators. And then the last one, that community bucket, we write for some big grants that really create workforce development programs. And an example of that, LEF wrote for and won a $2.4 million grant a couple years ago to create K-12 computer science pipeline. And that is, for the first time, we now have computer science courses from elementary school through high school, with the idea that it would really help solve this workforce need for tech in our region, or just in general the workforce need, like you're talking about computer. And that's a really exciting thing, because the goal is to really equip students and create this diverse, talented workforce.
Can you talk to us about a little bit the May 6th event? And I know you need a couple of sponsorships from businesses.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So the Outstanding Educators Banquet it's a fun, we invite the educators who've been nominated for either Teacher of the Year or Principal of the Year to come out, get dressed up, just have a night out. It's been quite a year. If you know a teacher or principal or anyone in the education system, give them a high five or a hug, or buy them a glass of wine. So that it'll just be a night to celebrate their hard work, their excellence. It's some of the top educators in the county, which is, there's a ton of nominations. So if you haven't made it, you're still a top educator, but this just happens to be a night to celebrate. And then, we're still looking for sponsorships for that, and we make sure that our sponsors, as much as they want to, really get a shout out and a thank you, and it's a chance to just honor the educators in our community, and it should be a great night. So if you are interested in that, you can email me at Danielle at louduneducationfoundation.org.
Okay. And the other event, also the big one coming in October, I guess, that the golf.
Yeah, the way we really try to raise most of our salary support so that when we do get donations, almost all of it, a huge chunk of it, goes to the program that the donor really wants to support. So we try to raise nearly all of our salary support. So the big tournament, or the big event that does that, is our Laf Golf Classic. It's the first Monday in October, and it's always at Creighton Farm, which is a huge blessing because I play golf, and that's an excellent course. So that helps draw. It's great. It's for the kids, that we're raising these funds, and you get a great day at one of the nicest courses on the East Coast. So it should be fun. So if that's something that you're into, you can go to LoudounEducationFoundation.org, and the registration link should be live by the end of today. So I'll make sure it is. Yeah.
Check it out. Any mission, Danielle, after you join, do you have any mission or anything you are trying to accomplish for the next 2 years, 2022 and 2023?
That's a really,
I know you have a lot on your plate too, guys, because you do work with pretty much with all Loudoun schools.
I think there's two things I'd say. We created a new scholarship program this year, and it's really been the work of, I love Loudoun County because I feel like it's such an awesome community and people are just good team players, So here's how this one came to be. Apple Federal Credit Union came to us about a year ago and said, we'd love to donate $12,000 for a scholarship program with the intention that it would provide a full $12,000 to students of color who want to become teachers. So then we said, gosh, what if we also provide a scholarship? It can also be for classified employees, and that's really just Loudoun County Public School employees who aren't certified teachers. They might be a teacher's assistant. My mom was a teacher's assistant. They might be a cafeteria worker. They might be a bus driver, but have a passion to become a teacher. And there's a huge need for teachers. So we got really excited about that, and we built that fund up thanks to an incredible community. My chiropractor, integrative chiropractic, gave $6,000, and a couple of friends donated some big chunks, and suddenly we have now $40,000 in that scholarship fund. And we've got I wish we could fund everything, but we've got some incredible applications that have come in from both, students of color, classified employees, with the idea of diversifying the teacher workforce in Loudoun. So that's
amazing.
That's what we're
exciting.
excited about.
Yeah, that's exciting. How can the audience or the listener, they can get involved with you guys? I know fundraising will be one, but what we can do? Do you need volunteers sometimes? So tell us a little bit. What do you think you need the most this year?
Thanks so much. Yeah, I think one, we can always use unrestricted funds. Like a lot of times when people donate to Loudoun Education Foundation, they might say, I just want to go to this program, that's great, and I totally understand why. But my goal is to raise enough unrestricted funds where then we have the flexibility to target a program or a need quickly, because we have a little bucket of unrestricted funds. So always unrestricted funds are really great to donate. And then just time, which I know sometimes a lot of that costs more, or hurts more than funds. But on Tuesdays we have our Backpack Coalition pack events, and we meet at a warehouse that's donated in kind from Loudoun Hunger Relief. Thank you, Jennifer Montgomery. And we meet at the warehouse and pack meals that would go out to students that week. So that's every Tuesday evening. And then Tuesday during the day, we could use help volunteers driving meals to the schools.
Oh, okay.
So that and sometimes that could be, you could say, hey, I've got an hour once a week, where do you need me? And that's really helpful. And the other kind of last need that I think of is if you're a business leader or just community member, really, we LCPS, and we help fund internship fairs and career fairs. And it's just I remember the day I had a woman editor from the Minneapolis Star Tribune come visit my high school in South Dakota, and it changed. I know exactly what she said all these years later. So I think it really impacts kids to see in the role. Like you said, you wouldn't have imagined owning a business. So I think when a 15-year-old hears from someone that it kind of helps them see the path from, because I think in high school it can feel very daunting, like, well, what's next? But when you see someone of like, oh, so you navigated all these things that I have in front of me, great, this is really helpful. So just signing up as a guest, and you can always reach out. I'll say my email again at the end, but you can always reach out to us, and we'll connect you with. Loudoun County Public Schools has Christina Lee is our experiential learning coordinator. Anyway, she puts on these career and internship fairs 3 to 4 times a year. So she'll connect you and get you a guest speaker position or whatever you're up for. Whether it's, hey, I'd love to take on an intern to help build that workforce, our future workforce. So that's another way that is, I think, really impactful.
And most of all these information online too, or we have to contact you directly?
Yes. Yeah, if you go to louduneducationfoundation.org, you'll see there's tabs that are like programs for teachers, programs for students, all the categories I just said. So find that category, or at the bottom there's our email address if you're like, I don't know where to begin, but this is what I need, or this, feel free to email as well. And can I say one last thing?
Yes, of course.
We have a really great, the guy, Brian Dittinson, who we're working with marketing, he does an excellent job with our social media, and our team does quite a bit of the work too. But so if you, on Instagram, it's LEF4, LCPS, that's Instagram and Twitter, or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and just follow along. I think that's sometimes the first step, right, to get to know a local nonprofit or a local business, is just start seeing their work and seeing what you might be excited about diving into and helping out with.
Thank you for everything you do, Danielle. And I'm sure your May 6th event, that's really great. I mean,
Would you share how you are helping us?
Well, I'm actually, we are contributing on a beach basket. So whatever it's a big basket, and we are giving for raffle prize. So I hope, all the businesses who can hear, they can reach out to you guys, because I know you need more sponsorship.
Yeah, that would be great. And it can be something that, we're asking for gift cards. It can be something that also invites the educators to come in and check out your business while also giving them a gift. Maybe it's a gift card or just something fun. And each of the educators, I keep saying, because it's teachers and principals, they also get money from, I think they're going to get $200 each from LEF, and they always say, oh, okay, for classroom supplies, and we always say no, for a massage, for a dinner out, just go treat yourself. And so it's a really fun chance. Really, whatever your business is, maybe think about if there's a way that you could support them, and maybe a raffle prize or a sponsorship. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
And again, remember, Danielle, your email again?
Yes, Danielle at louduneducationfoundation.org.
Yeah. We need your help.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danielle, so much. We appreciate all this information. And good luck on May 6th. So
yes, thanks.
Have fun. I think all the teachers and all the principals deserve, after this pandemic, it was a very hard time for all of them, really.
I think so. I am thankful that my job is to just support them. But I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.